Hey guys, hope you guys had a great weekend. I've got a couple of plays here, well actually 6 or 7 plays here that I definitely think that you should be watching this week. I'm going to go over exactly the levels that I'm looking for and exactly how you can participate in them. A lot of these trades are, a lot of these charts are potential plays here that haven't quite hit the level that I'm looking at to trade, so just kind of keep that in mind. But definitely keep an eye on these stocks that I'm about to mention here. And these are all optionable stocks. So you can trade the stocks or you can trade the options for these stocks as well. And really quick, before we get into these charts to help you make money this week, I wanted to point out here are all of our closed out trades that we had from last week. We don't always have this many trades, but it was a very, very busy time in the market, and we did extremely well. And you can see 3 trades here, 1, 2, 3 of them with over 100% gain, and that's just in 1 week. So if you want trades like this delivered to you in real time, all these trades here that you see right there, both the entries and the exits are delivered to our paying clients here, our members at thetradinganalyst.com via text message, and most of these plays are put on the watch list ahead of time. So we're not just throwing these alerts out, you're prepared ahead of time for what's to come. So I highly suggest that you join and become a member today so that you don't miss out on next week's trades. So let's take a look at these charts here that we're looking at. CZR, this one has been coiled up for so much time here, for about 5-6 months right here, trading sideways. You know, if you look at this right here, trading in this range, right here, sideways, boom, 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 okay? You can see it trended down here from 11 down to $6. That's almost a 50% haircut right there, okay? So now it kind of trended up, and then it just rested a little bit, but I believe that this big gap up that we saw here to close out the week is going to most likely lead this to higher prices. And you can see it's also accompanied by heavy volume right here. If you notice, we haven't had any big gap ups in this whole period of time. Okay, big gap up, strong close here out of this sideways trading. And we also broke over this resistance as well. If you draw that right there, and you can see it's gotten rejected at it here, there, almost hit it there, grind it up against it right here. So we're over a bunch of resistance points, gapped up on heavy volume on some good news. I definitely think CZR has a high chance for heading higher in the coming days and weeks. GRUB here is another one that I'm watching. And this one is super coiled here, and I definitely think it looks like it will be an upside move that will come from this. But again, this is one of the ones that hasn't hit my level just yet. I want it to prove itself. Okay, I don't like to just buy a bottom and try to predict the future. I want to see kind of a reaction. Same kind of thing that happened with CZR. Yeah, I believe that it was going to head higher, but I wanted to see it prove itself. And that gap up that we saw on Friday from Caesars, was that sign. So I'm looking for something similar here on GRUB. And you can see here, same thing here, just super coiled. Super coiled. Trended lower here for a while, but then we've just been trading sideways right here. Okay? I want to kind of zoom in so you can get a better look. That's a little bit too much. Okay, so you can see that we've had a lot of volume that's happened here for GRUB. We had a lot of volume here. You can see it tried to head lower but couldn't really do it and closed green. So I think that this is a lot of buying volume right there. And then we just kind of traded sideways after that. You can see, look at this day, big red day, big volume, but notice what happened afterwards. Kind of traded sideways, headed higher. Notice what happened here. Big gap up here. We gapped up here and obviously closed red, but this is heavy volume, all right? Another heavy volume day over here. So we've got a lot of volume, and the stock has not moved yet. Okay, so a lot of times volume will precede price. So what that means is volume, you're going to see a lot of volume before price actually moves. And that's what happens. The big boys are exchanging hands. Okay, they're changing hands. Okay, so they're washing out all the sellers, introducing all the buyers. So that way, when it finally explodes and breaks out, over this trend line here, it's going to be swift and it's going to be powerful. Okay, this is virtually sideways trading here for several months, and I definitely think that if it breaks over about 68 bucks, 67, 68 dollars, that's going to be the upside move that we're looking for. So 67, 68, that's the level that you want to look for GRUB to break. The next one we're looking at is UNP. UNP overall, very nice uptrend. I want to see it kind of reclaim about 174. This is a very similar look to what we saw over here. And what I mean by that is right here, you can see kind of headed higher and then sideways, broke that support, and then boom, we broke over right here. Very similar look, headed higher here, sideways, broke that support, and now we're trying to break over it. So I just want to see a little bit of another strong move higher, maybe closing over last week's highs, 173, 174. If that happens, I definitely think that we can see an upside move. Similarly to how we did over here, you can see we broke over it here. We went from about 163 all the way up to almost 180, $17. Not bad of a move for UNP. So that's what you want to watch. UNH is another one that I've been covering here for some time here. And if you back it up a year, you can see we had this support level, support. We broke that support right here. And look at this volume, guys. Heavy volume. Notice how the volume didn't really come this whole down move, but now we're finally seeing it. And that's how the big boys disguise their buys. They disguise their buys on these big red days, and that's why you see a lot of big red days mark the bottom, because it's a panic low. A lot of sellers are trying to sell out, but it introduces a lot of smart money buyers, and that's what happened here. And it was followed by several days, I'll zoom back in, several days of heavy volume on the upside as well, all followed by heavy volume. And now we've just kind of been trading sideways. I think that it's due for an upside move. We just need to finally break over this kind of resistance that we're seeing right here. So once we get that happening here, I think that UNH can really get a breakout here. And again, I've been covering this stock since back here when we broke over this level right here. So if you've been following along, you should already be nicely in the green. We covered it since about 238. It hit about 252 since then. Not bad, but I definitely don't think it's done yet. And it just has to break over this resistance to do that. Next one is W. This is another one that's kind of been trading sideways here. When you have a stock that's been trending higher like this, big breakout, heavy volume, and notice here when we retrace lower, we didn't really break this low. Oops, wrong tool. We didn't break this low right about here, okay? Right about there, okay? Boom, boom, boom. We bounced perfectly off that level, okay? So a lot of times when you have a big gap up on a stock, and especially a move after that, it needs to kind of rest. And that's what I've been seeing here for W. It just needs to kind of firm up a little bit. And as soon as it breaks over this level right here, which it's trying to right now, but once we can break over this level, close maybe over about 156, then I think this one can really get going, and it's definitely one that you want to watch. The next one is Uber, and this is a new IPO, obviously, you know this. Now with Uber, we had this bearish action here on the IPO day and followed up by the next day heading lower right here. But notice what happened after that. Swift bounce right here. And now we're closing. This is kind of the level that you want to watch right here, is the level that we opened at, or that we closed at on the IPO date. Okay, that's right around 41.50, and that's the level you want to watch. Now we broke over here and we made a new high. Okay, we made a new high. I think this dip that we saw here on Friday is a gift, and I think that anywhere between 43 and 41.50 is a buying opportunity. If we close back below 41.50, I'm no longer going to be interested in Uber. But again, it had its chance to break down. Okay, and even on this retracement higher, I was skeptical, especially because we kind of retraced lower after that. But then this big follow-up move, guys, to make a new high and to close over this resistance point, guys. I definitely think that Uber here is definitely set for higher prices. I think it can go to 50. I think it can go higher than that. I don't like to make predictions, but 50 would be a very, very conservative target from here, especially when you consider this range that we've already seen from the IPO date, about 45 bucks down to about 36, 35 bucks. I mean, that's a huge range right there. So this one can definitely get moving. If we head lower, I'd definitely be a buyer at that dip. Again, if it closes below 41.60, that would be a level that I wouldn't want it to see it go below. And in fact, I'd honestly look for a short if it actually closed back below this level. Actually, I wouldn't really want to short it until it closed below about 40 bucks. Okay, if it closed below about 40 bucks, that's below this low, and we make a new low, then I would look for a short, because then this would be just some huge fake out. But as it stands right now, the fake out already happened to the downside. We bounced, we consolidated, and then we headed higher. I mean, this is just a very technical bull flag, basically, right here. Okay, I know it's early and it's a very small sample size of price so far, but that's what I'm seeing on Uber. Next one, and this is for all the ladies out there. I'm just kidding. But Pinterest here is, and I'm saying that because the users of Pinterest are like 90% female. But here we have Pinterest, and Pinterest didn't have any kind of a fake out. Okay, it was super bullish from the IPO date right here with heavy volume, closed green, headed higher, and now we just see some regular normal consolidation, and we're finally seeing a break over this level right there. So normal retracement. We also broke over this resistance here. You can see it was previous kind of support there. Broke that support, turned into resistance here and there, and then we a strong close over this level. I'm a buyer anywhere between where we're at now and $26. If it breaks back below $26, same thing with Uber, I would no longer really be interested in it. Has to hang out over $26. Now conversely, same thing with Uber, I'd be looking for a short if it closed below about, what is this? 23.40. Let's just call it, well, let's call it the low of this day. The low of that day, the IPO date is 23 bucks. So 23.05 if you want to get exact. So close below 23 bucks, to me would be an easy short. When you break the low on IPO, and close below it, especially after you've kind of created some support with these bounces here, that's an easy short. But right now, we're hanging over this support. We're breaking out over this level, and I definitely think it's going to head higher. Very conservative target up here near about 31 bucks for that gap fill right there. And that would be a very nice, about 20% gain from here. Something like that. Don't quote me on my math and say, oh, it's not 20%, it's 25%, or whatever it is. But I definitely think it can head higher. And this would be an easy first target, especially because we have this support right there, boom, 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 and then it came up to here as resistance, got rejected there, and also there's a gap fill as well. But I definitely think it can head higher. into that point, potentially even higher than that. It showed a lot of bullish strength here on the IPO date and just kind of needed to rest. But definitely looking for higher prices here on Pinterest. And that's all I got for the charts that I'm going to cover today for this weekly watch list video. Again, if you like this video and you like me, you don't have to like me. You just have to like the trades and what I'm talking about. But if you like that and you want to get real-time trade alerts, both the entries and exits via text message, as well as access to this entire portfolio tracker and the member videos and access to me personally and so much more, then I highly suggest that you sign up, and I look forward to having you as a new member. I'll see you guys next time.